10 years ago this week, a massive EF5 tornado changed Joplin, Missouri forever. It killed 161 people, injured more than 1,000, and did nearly $3 billion in damage. It was the deadliest U.S. tornado in decades and did the most damage in dollars ever in this country. Our Casey Nolan was one of the first reporters on the scene in May of 2011, and tonight he's back in Joplin, where he found a town transformed and still wounded. Casey joins us live from Joplin. Casey.
Yeah, Mike, when you pull into town, it is easy to see the progress here in new public buildings, new businesses, entire neighborhoods that are new. But it also doesn't take long to see that there is still healing here that, well, it may never be finished. It was a mile wide and 13 miles long, right through the heart of Joplin, wiping out nearly everything in its path, leaving behind a pain of loss maybe too deep to ever really know.
I'm down here looking to see if maybe my friend might have taken cover. There was a pillow on down here too, so I was hoping that maybe she'd grabbed a pillow and taken cover.
A slow-moving tornado with record-breaking winds in its rotation, an EF5 in May of 2011 that changed Joplin forever.
We had 500 businesses that were destroyed, thousands of homes that were destroyed. Multiple thousands of people were displaced, and so to try to put the devastation in context, I won't do it justice. It was just so severe.
10 years later, there are still scars from the storm and signs of a town rising from it.
So it felt never ending for a while. And now it's just wild to drive down roads and not remember what was there.
We first met Mariah Stone when she was going into her senior year in high school just after the tornado. Her family and most of their home were spared. They spent the next several months after the tornado rebuilding their home after school and jobs and the stress of surviving.
I feel bad, like I didn't lose as much as others, but I care about them, like I think about them, and like I know she lost her mom and my neighbor.
If I could go back then, I wish it would have never happened for everyone. But I think that there has been some good that you can look that has came out of it. And so I think we're much stronger than we were before.
If strength can be measured in the way Joplin has kept its commitment to rebuild, then you only have to look at how the path of the tornado has transformed over the past decade to understand why many here believe the city has built back better.
To me, it brought the whole community together.
Within hours of the tornado, Crossland Construction volunteered its cranes to move debris. In the 10 years since, the company has been part of Joplin's more than $2 billion construction boom.
Joplin proper is exploding.
Not all of that is rebuilding from the tornado, I gather.
No, it is not, but I look at it as a continuance. I look at it as Joplin's way of saying, you know, you can't hold us back, you can't stop us.
Where Joplin's high school was destroyed, a world-class campus now stands. Where it once was hard to see an end to the rubble, Joplin has now averaged 5 new homes a week for the past decade. While other changes have been smaller and even bigger at the same time.
Yes, a lot. In the best way ever.
Mariah is now a wife and mother living in a new home built in the tornado's path.
I just want to say I'm glad that I lived. I am. I've got a son-in-law and a grandson, and so I'm glad that we were not one of the 169.
A lot of people attribute a few deaths in the days after the tornado to the tornado. The official number is 161 lives lost back in 2011. One thing everyone we talked to, though, agrees on, whether the mayor, the contractor, the family we spoke with, is that they haven't made this progress on their own. They all say they are grateful, if not amazed, at the number of volunteers and the work that volunteers have done here over the years. Just one small example, Mike, it was a St. Louis company that originally saw that story with Mariah's family and the work they were doing on their roof, reached out, gave them all the materials for free to finish it. Mike?
People really did step up, and I'm here in the Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell. He's taking a look back at how that tornado developed and the destructive path it took. It seems like only yesterday.
You know, it really doesn't seem that long ago, and that was a really rough stretch of about a week or so. Of course, we were preceded by the Good Friday tornado that happened earlier in April in St. Louis, on Good Friday, of course. But this time frame here, from May 22nd all the way up to May 27th, it was an incredible time with 6 or 7 EF5 tornadoes. Very rare. This is what the radar operators were looking at. Initially, watching a supercell thunderstorm, which is already rotating. The rotation is there. And as the storm merged with another thunderstorm, that rotation got even stronger. Now at this point, that stronger circulation, we switched the radars over to Springfield. You can see the tornado beginning to touch down here, and it becomes a very strong, very violent tornado. And you start to see what we call the debris ball in the radar signature. We have newer technology that allows us to see more inside of the storm than what we could see back in those days. But this storm was a massive storm that went not only the 13 miles through Joplin, but continued to go an additional 9 miles or so off to the east and southeast before it finally dissipated. You look back, 3 of the top 10 deadliest tornadoes in the U.S. have struck Missouri and or Illinois. The deadliest storm in U.S. history was the Tri-State tornado. It's also the longest path in a continuous tornado on the ground of 219 miles. It started down in Reynolds County and went over into Indiana. 695 people died in that storm. This third deadliest tornado in St. Louis went across Lafayette Park, went across and struck the Eads Bridge and into East St. Louis. 225 people died there. And in modern times, when we have our warnings in place and we are able to give you warnings, we still had 161 people lost in Joplin. That's why we do what we do, and why when we tell you to go to the basement, we really need you to be prepared. Now's the time to prepare when the weather's fairly quiet, Mike.